Hey guys, it's your girl Bethany Camille and I am back with another video. Before we get started, I know I'm wearing makeup because I've been feeling so bummy lately. Like, I have not worn makeup at all this whole quarantine, so you know, your girl wanted to feel cute for this video for once. Also, please don't mind my hair. I have been struggling with my hair. As you know, I've been natural, but I just got locks, and so my hair is at a very awkward length, and so I'm not really able to do a lot of like cute styles like I want to, so this is what we're working with. But anyways, this video is going to be about moving out into your first apartment, moving out of your parents' house for the first time and into your first apartment. And as y'all can see, I have notes here. So we're going to discuss everything that I basically learned moving out for the first time, and it's definitely a process, and I think that a lot of people can benefit from what I've learned. So yeah, let's get into it. Guava. Okay. The first point that I made here is plan in advance, 6 to 12 months. If you know that you want to move out, you need to have it set in your mind around the time that you want to move out. For me, I knew that I wanted to move out by August of 2020. I knew this officially last year. So around August 2019, that's when I got my job at the law firm, and in my head I knew, okay, I want to move out 1 year from now. I had it in my mind that it was going to take me around a year to save the amount of money that I would need to move out. So yeah. And plus 6 months to 12 months, I say that that's a good amount of time because it also helps your family prepare for your absence. And sometimes, you know, that's hard for your parents, especially if they're very connected to you, and you know, they go through the empty nesting phase. And I think slowly but surely, when they realize that you're getting yourself together to move, it's better than just going cold turkey. The next point is save around 10K. That is so key. When I first started this process, I was like, oh, I'll just save $5,000, right? No. 5,000 is not really enough. If you want to be in a comfortable place, right, a comfortable space where you're not stressed, save 10K. All right, I was able to save around close to 10K by living at home with my mom, and I wasn't really paying any bills. So if you're in that type of position like me, then take advantage of that, work your butt off at your full-time job and save your money. If you know that you want to be independent, you kind of have to make, you know, wise decisions with your money, and know that no matter what, you're always going to be able to travel. But if you want to be independent, you kind of have to buckle down and save. I think I officially started saving 6 months before I wanted to move out. But that was pretty aggressive saving, I think, because every paycheck I got, you know, I get paid for my job every 2 weeks. That's one of my streams of income. I have multiple streams of income, but my main stream of income from my 9 to 5, I get paid once every 2 weeks. And so I saved around $500 each time. And so that quickly accumulated to, you know, closer to 10,000. And plus I got help from my boyfriend. And so the reason why I say 10K is because there's a lot of costs associated with moving out, and I'm not saying that to scare you guys, but it's just the facts of things. You got to think about a deposit, which for me was $1,000. For other people, a deposit is the same amount as rent. So you got to think about a deposit and then your first month's rent. Just to give you an example, my rent at my apartment is $1,700. And so my deposit was $1,000. So when we put that into the calculator, that came to $2,700. Okay? That's how much I was spending up front just to hold the apartment and pay for my first month's rent. So when I looked at my savings account, I saw how much money went down. I'm like, oh my God. And so you're gonna need the rest of the money to buy your bed, your couch, your TV, and all the basic necessities that you'll need. So that's why I say you need to save $10K so that you have a bit of a cushion. And if you save $5K, I mean, you can make it work, but if you only save $5K, just expect to like not have any furniture that might have to come later in time. So these damn pillows, sorry y'all. While you're saving your money, this is super, super pertinent, okay? This is very important. You need to open a credit card. And if you already have one, focus on fixing your credit and getting the score above 650. If you don't have a credit card, not to worry. If you're giving yourself a year in advance, then you can just open a credit card now. If you're young, like a teenager still, and you don't really know about credit, basically you can just open a credit card for paying like for groceries and gas. Don't open a credit card and buy things that you can't afford. Only buy things that you can afford and that you will be able to pay it off right away every month. Okay, so that's why I said groceries and gas or whatever. Start building your credit now, and by the time when you move out, your score should be above 650. And because they're gonna run when you apply for an apartment, they want to make sure that you have credit. So you can't get an apartment without that. Another tip too, you do want your credit score to be on the higher side, like around 700, because every time you apply for an apartment, they run your credit and that lowers your score each time. So if your score is already kind of low and then they run your credit, it's gonna lower even more. So just keep that in mind. The next one is start looking at neighborhoods in advance. For me, I knew that I wanted to be in a very eclectic neighborhood that is around young people, and I wanted it to be safe, but I didn't necessarily want it to be predominantly white. Okay, I'm a black woman and I feel safe around people of color. So that's that. So I wanted a happy medium. So I knew that I wanted to be around museums, nightlife, my job, things that are important to me. And so I made sure to look for neighborhoods like that, and safe neighborhoods, especially for a woman, walking home late at night. That's like super important. Like, you don't want to be in a situation where you don't feel safe walking around at night. And I think that it's also important to drive through the neighborhoods if you can at nighttime and get a vibe of them. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at the cost of rent in these certain neighborhoods over time. So since you'll be giving yourself like 6 months to a year to plan, it's really good to look on Zillow.com or apartments.com or even Craigslist and see the fluctuation of rent prices throughout the different seasons. Typically, the fall and winter seasons are a lot cheaper than the summertime. The summertime is usually the highest, and so you just want to see when the best time is and then make your best judgment then. I knew that I wanted to move out in August, and I was, I know that that's when the rent is the highest, but in my mind, that's the beginning of the year. I'm looking at like school time. So that's my personal choice, but if you really want to just make sure that you're renting at a time where it's really cheap, then look at the winter and fall. Another thing that's very important is to make sure that you have a full-time job, okay? I know that in today's society with social media, it's really easy to think that like 9 to 5 are outdated or something like that, but they are not. There's nothing wrong with having a steady stream of income, okay? It's so securing, and you know, it's like you basically know that you will always get a certain amount of money every single month, and that certain amount of money is always going to cover your bills as long as you're careful with your spending. But you know, if you just wing it, that's when shit gets stressful. It's also just as important to have a side hustle for the weekends or, you know, after hours. What I mean by after hours is like after work hours. If you live in Southern California like me, or the East Coast, you know that it is expensive, okay? Like San Diego, where I live, is one of the most expensive cities. So we kind of have to have multiple streams of income just to be able to live comfortably, you know? So it doesn't hurt to get like a weekend job, being a waitress, or doing like an odd job here and there, starting an online business that is not too demanding, passive income, investing, whatever you can do to get extra money on the side, just so that you can enjoy little luxuries like shopping, traveling, or going out to eat, going out to restaurants, and all that good stuff. Okay, so the next one that I have is keep your plans private until you're ready to go. So, you know, I think it's good to kind of tell your family, like your immediate family, like your mom and your dad, oh, hey, I plan on moving out. I'm giving myself some time, but I plan on moving out. You can tell them the month. Okay, cool. But you don't need to keep updates on, like, you don't need to keep updating them, you know, because they're not really going to take you seriously until they actually see you packing your bags, okay? Also, like, I just think it's better to move in private and not tell people your plans in advance, because if things fall through, then you look kind of dumb, you know? I think I already said this. You can find apartments on Zillow.com, apartments.com, and Craigslist. Craigslist is the more sketchier side of things, but I think I went with like Zillow or apartments. I think that's where I found mine. And they're always updating apartments every day in the morning time. So you know, the options are limitless. So, okay. So let's say it's getting around to the time that you're ready to move. You have your money saved, your credit is good, and now you're just looking for an apartment. You already found your neighborhood, everything. Okay, cool. The next thing that I want to touch on is you need to figure out in your mind if you really need a one bedroom or could you do with the studio. So for me, I feel like if I was single and if I was moving out by myself for the first time, I would have definitely went with the studio, because studios are a lot cheaper than a one bedroom, a lot cheaper. And typically it's pretty cool. I think studios are cute, you know, but because I live with my boyfriend, a studio would not have been viable, you know. Plus, if we wanted friends to come over, it would have been too much of a tight space and it just wouldn't have been good, you know. So make sure that you look between the options of a studio or like a one bedroom, okay? Especially if you're moving out like by yourself. So what you're gonna do through like Zillow or apartments.com or Craigslist, you're going to request a tour. Sometimes they say, oh, we could do a virtual tour. If you can, do an in-person tour, because the way that pictures look online, sometimes it looks bigger than what it actually is, okay? Speaking from my own experience, the first apartment that I looked at, no, not the first, but the first apartment that I actually considered and I was about to move in was a studio. And on the pictures, it looked really big. And then I get there and it was so much smaller than what I was expecting. And so, you know, it's just good to see it in person, get the vibe, and you know, like, it's just good to see everything in person. You want to be able to check if there's any like damages and weird smells and stuff like that. While you're doing the tour with the apartment manager, you're gonna want to ask a lot of questions, okay? I can't really list all of them right now, but you're just gonna basically like Google good questions to ask an apartment manager while you're doing a tour, make sure you ask, like, is there parking? Like, do you guys have laundry? Do you have a pool? Do you have a dishwasher? What are the things that you guys provide? Like, for this rent, this amount of rent, what are you giving me? Okay? You want to make sure you ask those questions, because if it seems like the rent is way too high and there's not enough amenities and the area ain't even that good, then you know to walk away. They have to sell you. Like, they have to sell you the apartment. Okay? You're doing them a favor by considering, you know, getting this apartment. Okay. This is some good shit. Sorry, family, if I'm cursing. I'm just, yeah, I don't know. The next point. Okay. We're gonna power through this. So we're at the point where you've looked at some apartments, and make sure you keep your options open, okay? I feel like when you're looking for an apartment, that is the most stressful time. All I know is for me and my boyfriend, we were apartment hunting back to back to back. Like, we would look at 2 apartments in one day, and then the next day we would look at another apartment, and each time there would be other people looking at the same apartment. So in your mind you're like, oh shoot, if I really like this place, I have to compete with someone else, you know? So it can be very stressful, especially if you really like a place, but you still want to look at others just to make sure that you've covered all your bases, you know? So anyways, you're looking, and finally you have found the apartment that you want. So they'll give you a form to fill out and apply. And on that form, they're going to ask for your recent pay stubs and your recent bank statements. And on the bank statements, you're going to want to show like the past 3 paychecks, basically. They want to have proof that you have a steady stream of income. Okay, so during that, you know, I want to say 6 months to a year, if you're planning, make sure that you get a good paying job that, you know, the apartment manager is able to see, okay, they can pay their bills, you know, because they have this good job. If you're not able to do that, then you might have to look at getting a co-signer, meaning like your parents, to, you know, provide that. And I don't know a whole lot about that, but I know for people who, you know, didn't really work full-time jobs, they might need a co-signer. So you're going to provide your pay stubs, your bank statements, and all your documents, ID, whatever, not ID, but whatever they're going to ask you, you know? Yeah, every application is going to come with a fee. I believe our application fees were like $40. So yeah, every application is going to come with a fee, so make sure you have that. It probably varies, you know, in different states, but yeah, for Southern California, I feel like that's what it is. Okay. Okay, so boom. So you've already applied for the apartment that you want. Now you just wait. You wait to see if the property management will approve you. Usually this takes a couple of days, because that's how long it took for me. And then they'll send you like an email saying, congratulations, you got the apartment. And it's super exciting. I've only applied to 2 apartments. The first one was the studio, and at first I was so dead set on the studio. But then last minute I changed my mind. At the end of this video, I'll give you guys a very brief overview of how I actually found my apartment. But anyways, back to the main point. When you're approved for the apartment, they're gonna give you a list, like a checklist, and they want you to go throughout the whole place and mark down any damages that you see. You're gonna want to mark down every single thing, because basically, you know that deposit that you paid, that deposit is for those damages. And if they think that you caused the damages, they're going to pull that money out of your deposit to fix it. But if you say, no, I didn't cause that, I put that in my checklist, then they'll say, okay, you know, they'll say, oh, it was already there when you got here. Okay, we won't take money out of your deposit. And for those who don't know, your deposit is the money that you're going to get back when you move out. Okay, I know what I'm saying is a lot right now, but it's a lot of information, but it's really important information. Now that you have your apartment, you don't have to rush to get all of your furniture. Now, I didn't really follow this advice, but hear me out. My mom was the one who was super excited about helping with the furniture, and so she went on this shopping spree of buying all of our furniture for us. So she pretty much bought everything for us, and that was like my mom's gift to us. I paid for a few things here and there, but for the most part she paid for everything. And that leads me to my next point. Please don't be afraid to ask your family and friends for old furniture that they no longer need or want. If they're wanting to get rid of it, say, you know, hey, I'm moving out soon, like I would love to have it, you know, or I moved out, I would love to have it, or, you know, I'm willing to buy it off of you at a discounted price, whatever, you know. Don't be afraid to ask family, because you'll be surprised, family will come out of the woodworks to help you out if you ask, or if you have a good family. Don't buy furniture from, like, especially if this is your first ever apartment, don't feel pressure to buy furniture from these like expensive stores like Pier 1, Target, Crate and Barrel, all the, you know, we're not doing that. You're gonna go to Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp, and you're gonna get your furniture from there. Okay, listen, y'all gonna see in my apartment tour my furniture. It looks so nice, especially for my first apartment. All of it was from Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp. All of it is used. I was able to find a leather couch. Off of Facebook Marketplace. It was sold to us super cheap. I was able to find a leather ottoman, other leather bar stools, a rug, TV stand, nightstands, lamps, bookshelves, like everything you can think of was used, and it was dirt cheap. Okay, quality stuff. So do yourself a favor, don't spend all that money. Make sure you go cheap. Also, if you're moving out, just know, and if you have pets, just know that pets oftentimes require a deposit and a monthly rent fee. Okay, so for example, in my apartment, if I wanted to get a cat, that would cost me, I believe, $500 a deposit. The deposit is $500 for a cat, one cat. And then it would be a monthly rent fee of $40. Okay? Now you gotta ask yourself, is that worth it? When it comes to like buying TVs and stuff and internet, once you move in, you're gonna need to set up the gas and electric and your internet. And if you watch TV, get cable or Roku or something. But personally, me and my boyfriend, we don't watch TV like at all. Even at our like family, like when we were living with our parents, we didn't watch TV. We didn't watch the regular cable. We just watched like Netflix or YouTube, and that saved us a lot of money. So don't get cable if you don't really watch TV like that. You can always like just go with some kind of streaming service, you know. Also make sure that you have renter's insurance, and I feel like all of that is gonna come, you know, the apartment, like upon moving in, they're gonna ask you for all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, renter's insurance is really, really important as well. So yeah, the last thing I'll say is once you move into your own place, life is good. You're stress-free, you're on your own, you're figuring things out for yourself, you're cleaning up after yourself for once. You're keeping the dishes clean. Like, I never used to do none of that. I never used to clean my room, and I never used to wash the dishes, nothing like that. Like, unless I was asked to. But now I actually want to keep my space clean. And I love my space. Like, I wouldn't trade it for anything. So, it's great. Life is great. I really do feel like I could have moved out a lot sooner. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. Just to close the video, me personally, I decided to move closer to my job, which is in the city. So I literally live minutes away from the city. I'm in the perfect neighborhood. There's lots of authentic Mexican food around here. Parks, museums, nightlife, bars. Crime is pretty low. You still get a lot of homeless people, but it's okay. The first place that I looked at, the first apartment that I looked at, it was a studio, but you know, after really thinking about it, I was like, for $13.75 a month, this is not worth it. I can find something way better. And so I was able to find a way better option. And I will tell you guys more about my apartment in a later video. When I do my apartment tour, I'll go in depth over the cost of everything so you guys can know all of that. But yeah, this video was just basically to help anyone out there who has no clue where to start or what to do. They don't know the process, they're scared, they're worried, blah blah. This is just to ease your worries, but also give you all the information you're gonna need. And honestly, once you moved in, like, all the stress is gone pretty much. Like, all you gotta worry about is just paying your rent and your bills. And if you have a good paying job, then you should be fine. Make sure, oh, I forgot to mention this. Make sure that your apartment is in your budget. Okay? Let's not get something that's over your budget. You need to get an apartment that's in your budget. Typically, apartment managers will tell you you need to be making 3 times the amount of rent. Okay? I believe it's 3 times the amount of rent. So do the math. For me, I can pay for my apartment by myself. The $1,700, I can pay it by myself. But I would barely have anything left over. You know, it's pretty expensive. Well, not barely have anything left over. I would have some left over, but I just wouldn't be able to go out to restaurants and stuff like that. I'd have to be really frugal with my money. But because I'm splitting the rent with my boyfriend, it makes life easier for me. You know, that's what I would say. Make sure that your job can definitely cover, like, the amount of money you're making from your job can cover your rent. You definitely don't want to go, like, you don't want to do too much now. You want to use common sense, and you don't want to get evicted, okay, for not paying your bills. I just wanted to give you guys confidence to be able to go out and do this. I want to encourage you. If you put your mind to it, you can do it, okay? At first, before I moved out, I was scared. I was anxious. Like, I was so used to living at home with my mom that I couldn't, like, even though I wanted to be on my own, I almost couldn't picture it because it was so foreign to me. But I'm telling you, once you move out, your survival instincts kick in so effortlessly, you will figure it out. And it's not going to be that difficult. As long as you follow the advice that I gave you in this video, it should be fine. And like I said, it's such a relief to be able to be in your own space. There's nothing like having your own place, okay? You feel like you can accomplish a lot. You feel like you can accomplish, you know, if you can get your own place, you really do feel like a true adult. You know, at 25 years old, I was still living with my mom. I didn't really feel like an adult yet. I had to still answer to her, still do the chores when she wanted me to do them. My room was still like a 7th grader's room. So like, I just wasn't in the mindset of adulting yet. But now that I'm in my own place, I'm buying my own groceries, paying my own bills, it feels good, you know? I don't even feel stressed. Even if I don't have that much money left over to do things that I usually would have done, like, you know, living at my mom's, it's okay. I'm just happy to be in my own place, you know? Don't let naysayers and negative people, negative Nancy's, steer you away from your dream of moving out and being on your own, okay? It is simply a joy. Even living by yourself, you know, it's nice to have your own space. You could do whatever you want, you know? So I just want to throw some positive vibes, positive energy out there for you guys. If you're in the process of moving out, I wish you nothing but the best, and I know that you'll be just fine. yeah, so that's it for now. I don't want to make this video too long. I feel like it's already super long, but if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. Let me know what other videos you want me to make. If you want me to keep talking about apartments and maybe even make a series on it, let me know. But other than that, give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Comment down below and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, that's it. I hope you guys have a nice day. Bye.